Hello, and welcome to An Equal Sequel, the film review show about the sequels that are actually worth a watch. As we all know, the majority of sequels are extremely poor and a waste of time. However, I will be showing you the sequels, in my opinion, that are definitely worth your investment.
So coming in at number 10, we have Rocky II, a story of Rocky Balboa after his fight with heavyweight champ Apollo Creed. It shows Balboa, who is played by Sylvester Stallone, struggling with his family life, and Apollo wanting a rematch to show whom is the better fighter. It is a compelling and heartwarming story, and although very similar to the first, it's still a classic and greatly entertaining watch, like the whole of the Rocky series. Die Hard 2 is a sequel to one of the greatest action movies of all time, and is number 9 on the list. It follows John McClane, a tough New York cop, who has already dealt with the hostage crisis in the first film, now has to deal with stopping disaster as a rogue military unit take control of Washington DC airport. At number 8 is Peter Jackson's second installment in the film adaptation of J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings trilogy, Lord of the Rings: Two Towers. If you haven't seen this trilogy, then you're really missing out, as it is considered by many to be one of the greatest trilogies ever. As Frodo and Sam get slowly closer to Mount Doom, where the Ring of Power can be destroyed, the rest of the Fellowship are faced with Saruman and his hordes of Isengard. It is a wonderful and action-packed film set in the world of Middle-earth and is worth a watch. Coming in at number 7, we have Mad Max 2. This film definitely upped the antics from the first one, with a lot more action, a lot more murder, and a lot more leather. This film is set in the post-apocalyptic wasteland of Australia and follows Max, played by Mel Gibson, as he is tasked with helping a small community escape bandits that will stop at nothing to get their hands on fuel. It is an iconic wasteland survival film and should be watched. Back to the Future 2 is at the number 6 spot, the sequel to a classic 80s film. It follows Marty McFly and the Doc as they travel to the past, present and future to prevent disaster. It stars Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd and is a great time-travelling action film. The number 5 spot goes to Terminator 2: Judgment Day. This sequel shows the return of the human-destroying Terminator, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. However, this time he is not set out to kill John Connor, but to protect the 14-year-old kid and future leader of the human race from a far deadlier foe. This film is considered by many to be a greater film than the first, and is a true action film. And did I mention it stars Arnold Schwarzenegger? Aliens comes in at number 4. In this film, Ellen Ripley awakes after 57 years in cryogenic sleep to find that the planet she had escaped from has now been colonised. However, contact has been lost. She is sent alongside with a team of space marines to rescue any survivors and destroy the nightmarish creatures. But it is worse than she could ever imagine. This film is a thrilling and suspenseful experience, and at its core is a pure survival horror film. At number 3, we have Sergio Leone's The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. This is the final act in his directive trilogy that was originally meant to be 3 non-connected films. However, the American distributor thought it would be an easier sell if the movies were related, as Clint Eastwood plays a very similar character with the same clothes and no name throughout the films. With The Good, the Bad and the Ugly being one of the best westerns of all time, it's definitely worth a place on the list. Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight makes it to the number 2 spot. It is the second in the trilogy of the gritty and realistic take on the Batman franchise. It has an all-star cast including Christian Bale, Michael Caine, Heath Ledger and Gary Oldman. The Joker, a chaotic madman, seeks to bring down the masked vigilante that is Batman by causing as much chaos as possible in the city of Gotham. So Bruce Wayne is forced to make a decision. Does he tell the world that he is Batman and stop the chaos, or does he seek out and stop the Joker? It has an exceptional performance by Heath Ledger, who brings the Joker character to a whole new level, exploring a darker and more sinister villain. Even if you don't like superhero films, this is definitely worth a watch, solely for Heath Ledger's performance.
It's simple. Kill the Batman.
And finally, to the number 1 spot, and the greatest sequel in my opinion is Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back.
This darker entry in the Star Wars saga shines over the first as a superior film because of its tighter storyline, deeper character development, and brilliant performances. As Luke Skywalker goes in search of Master Yoda to discover the ways of the Force and become a true Jedi, Princess Leia, Han Solo, and Chewbacca travel across the galaxy to escape the Empire. This film is as iconic as it gets, and in my opinion is the sci-fi film, and that's why it is number 1 on my list.